Hello everyone, my name's Francesca and I'm an advisor from UCLan Careers and I'm here today to talk to you about career resilience. The objectives of today's session are to consider the situations we may face during our careers where we'll need resilience, to find out how to assess your own personal resilience and to learn about the key building blocks to resilience. So what is resilience? You'll find lots of different definitions, but a couple I have here are the ability of people or things to recover quickly after something unpleasant, such as shock, injury, could be anything, could be bereavement, redundancy, illness, an argument with a friend or a colleague, or even just a bad day. Or the quality of being able to return quickly to a previous good condition after problems. On Career Edge, you'll find lots of different resources, videos, articles, and tools to help you with your career planning. You'll find Career Edge as you log in into your computer system using your UCLan username and password. You'll see a menu on your left-hand side, and you'll see a Career Edge icon there. Otherwise, you can go to uclan.ac.uk/career edge, log in with your usual UCLan username and password, and make full use as a student or graduate of our Career Edge online resource, which is available for you to help you. There's lots of videos on there, as I've mentioned, and there's one video in particular from a career development coach called Gemma Roberts, and she talks about starting your career with resilience. Some of the key points for the videos is that she speaks about career transitions. And it's often a time where you need to have resilience, and that moving from academia or study, being a student, to the world of work is often one of the first career transitions that you will face. Now, Gemma says it's really important to start to think about enhancing your resilience as soon as possible, as you're likely to face challenges even before your career starts. We all will face challenges, and that's normal and that's natural and that's to be expected. Gemma believes that the best time to start to think about enhancing your resilience is when you actually don't need it. But even if you are facing challenges right now, if you're building your resilience and you're thinking about it, you start to feel like no experience is wasted. And Gemma believes that if there are big obstacles in your way, that's okay, because helping you to build your resilience now and for the long term across your working life. Because resilience is something, that you don't just need to think about and that you don't just need when you're facing obstacles. It's something that will help you every day throughout your working life. So moving on from that, let's start to have a think about what some of those obstacles can be. So if we think about even before you start your working life, your career planning and your job search, we can all face lots of setbacks through feeling like you've got a lack of direction, don't know where you're going, or limited self-awareness, you're not sure who you are and what you're good at and what career would suit you. You might be thinking about a change of career direction from the subject that you studied. You feel as if you perhaps have a lack of experience to go with your qualifications. You might be applying for opportunities that you're getting rejected from, or struggling to find an internship or some work experience. Perhaps stuck in a stopgap or a stepping stone job after graduation. Having issues with your CV and your application form and your interview technique, and just general confidence issues. These are things that most students and most professionals at some point in their life will face these setbacks. Moving on to thinking about being in the workplace, we can all face lots of setbacks throughout the workplace, from conflict with our colleagues and our managers to big changes in the organisation in terms of, pay reviews and funding cutbacks, making your job, more difficult to complete in the allocated set of time, maybe staff cutbacks, maybe even relocation, or a lack of training and planning and structure in the organisation can be very frustrating. Not having enough recognition and feedback for the good things that you do can set you back. Challenges with IT, whether it's learning new technology or just poor IT systems within the organisations. The threat of redundancy and work being too challenging or even not challenging enough can be just as frustrating in itself. So just to be aware that, you will face setbacks. That's normal and that's natural, but it's important to kind of perhaps start to think about that before you even set out on your job search. Resilience in the workplace is really, really important. Well, resilience, building your resilience in general will help you in your daily life, in your personal life, with your relationships and your friendships and your family and so on. But thinking specifically about the workplace, the more resilient you are, the less stressed you're going to be, the happier you're going to feel, the more motivated that you'll be, the more productive, and then in turn, you'll achieve more. Your individual morale will be boosted, and that will have a knock-on effect to your team and team morale in general. You'll be able to think more creatively. Your career could progress more quickly. And all those things are obviously a benefit to a business or organisation as well, because if they have happier, less stressed staff, they're going to be more likely to retain the staff to get the best out of them, and that's going to have positive effects on the key performance indicators and ultimately the business's success. So, how do we assess our own personal resilience? Well, I would really encourage you to make a start with doing this on Career Edge. We have an online toolkit on Career Edge. So as you log into Career Edge, if you click on Learning Materials and Tools, you will see a series of boxes. If you click on the last box, which is Awards and Programmes, and hover over that, you can click on the Resilience section. Within that is a whole kind of toolkit of videos and articles, resources, advice sheets, and assessments to help you to think about your resilience and assessing your own personal resilience. So within that, we've got a resilience quiz, if you like, which will ask you kind of a number of questions about your resilience and how you deal with certain situations and how you feel about certain things. And it will give you kind of a breakdown of kind of how resilient that you are, and then give in different areas of your life and give you lots of tips and suggestions of how to build your resilience. So yeah, I would really recommend that you go on there and you take that assessment. It'd be really, really useful. Susan Cabassi was a leading psychologist. Because what we want to do now is move on to thinking about, we've thought about resilience, we've thought about when you might need it, we know it's important to build it, we know how you can assess it. So let's think about how you're going to build what else you're going to do to build your resilience. The resilience quiz on Career Edge will give you lots of different ideas. But Susan Cabassi, who's a leading psychologist, talks about there being 3 elements that are essential to resilience. She talks about challenge, about viewing difficulties as challenging rather than paralysing events. So when you make a mistake, not to think of yourself as a failure, to see it as an opportunity for growth, and don't view kind of, mistakes or rejections as any reflection on your ability or self-worth. Then she talks about commitment. The more committed you are to your life and your own personal goals, the more resilient that you're going to be. And if we're talking about commitment to work, study, relationship, friendships, could be hobbies or interests, your religious or spiritual life, or any kind of causes that you believe in. The more committed that you are to things in your life, the more resilient that you're going to be, and the more of a support structure you're going to have around you, the better you're going to feel about yourself. She also talks about personal control. And that's really about not focusing on situation events that you have no control over, but actually putting your effort and time into those situations that you do have control over and that you can change, because that's going to help you to feel more empowered and confident rather than just frustrated and helpless and powerless. So think about viewing difficulties as a challenge, being committed to things in your life, and just focusing on situations in your life that you do have control over. And by doing these 3 things, that's really important to building your resilience. Having a positive mantra is also really key to building your resilience. Sometimes the simplest things are the most effective. So think about that devil and that angel on your shoulder. So when something goes wrong, the devil would be saying, oh, you're useless at that. You always make mistakes. You've done it again. But the angel could be saying, we all make mistakes. You've got an opportunity to learn something and grow from it here. So whatever it is, just think about angel on your shoulder, and think about some kind of short mantra that you could say to yourself when things are getting tough. So here we've got, I can do hard things, I'm courageous, I believe in myself, whatever it is, just make sure that you've got a positive mantra to help you along. Self-care is also really important to building resilience. So a lot of it's quite a bit of a buzzword at the moment. A lot of mental health bloggers and mental health professionals, we talk about self-care, how it's really important to sometimes put yourself first, or to just make a little bit of time for yourself on a daily and a weekly basis, even if that's just for 15 and 20 minutes. So that could just be doing something that you enjoy, or something to help you relax, because otherwise you're going to burn out and your resilience is going to dwindle. So there's plenty of ideas here to doing a bit of yoga, putting a face masks on, doing a bit of journaling, going for a walk, having a herbal tea and 15 minutes out. So whatever it is, whatever floats your boat, just make sure that you take, ideally about half an hour or 20 minutes or whatever you've got each day to have a little bit of time for you, because it's all important in building your resilience. You might have heard about the 5 ways to well-being. There's a lot of kind of science and research behind this, and organisations like Action for Happiness and Mind and Mental Health Charity will talk about, lots of well-being services will talk about the 5 ways to well-being. So it's been proven that doing these 5 things on a daily basis and making them a habit helps you to have a better general feeling of well-being and be happier, really. So the 5 elements are connecting with other people. So that could just be taking a little bit of time out during your day to have a chat to the people on your course, or, your colleagues in your part-time job, or, having a weekly kind of phone conversation back home, smiling at a stranger in a queue and making a bit of small talk. Whatever it is, connecting with other people helps us to feel better about ourselves and to be happier. Keep learning is really important, which, as a student, you're doing every day. But it could just be something as simple as perhaps, going to perhaps a talk that's going on in the university, something that really interests you, or reading a book, or listening to a podcast. But whatever it is, just keep engaged and learn, or watching the news. Just keep engaged and learning about the world around you. Keeps your brain sharp and keeps you connected and happier. Taking notice, that just simple things like, looking at your surroundings and taking some time out to admire a beautiful view or a rainbow, or maybe kind of taking a different route to, uni or work in the morning. Just taking notice of what's around you. Giving to other people is really important, and that could just be smiling at someone, giving someone a compliment, offering to help someone with their work. But doing things for others makes us feel good about ourselves. And finally, being active. And that doesn't need to be starting at running or starting up a team sport, but even just going for a 20-minute stroll on your lunch break, or getting off the bus a few stops earlier. But, just doing something to, keep moving and be active helps you to feel better about yourself. Helps to release the stress and, release those feel-good endorphins. So how can UCLan Careers help with the building blocks of resilience? Well, our careers advisors can support you to create an action plan of your long and short-term goals using SMART principles, so you're clear on exactly what you need to do to get to where you want to be. So that's about being committed to your goals. We'll also help to give you a confidence boost and think about what you've got to offer. We'll have a look at your background and your CV and everything that you've done, and help you to kind of, really know what your unique selling points and get those across to employers. Will hopefully help you to feel more positive and feel more confident. And we'll also suggest ways that you can improve your skills and overcome any hurdles in your way in a solution-focused manner. So please do make use of our service. At the moment, we're offering one-to-one appointments. They're being done remotely over Microsoft Teams, currently. Basically you can just give us a call on 01772895858, or log into Career Edge and book an appointment with us. Here's a list of further resources. You won't really be able to click on them exactly here, but I'm going to show you in a minute where you will be able to access them. So from Mind, the NHS, Action for Happiness, Career Edge, and the Wellbeing Service at UCLan. If you're interested in this kind of topic and you want to do some further reading, there are lots of resources here for you to access. So if you want to access and use these slides, review them, be able to click on the links and have a look at the extra resources, if you log into Career Edge and you click on popular tools at the top, you can see in black here that's been highlighted, and then you click on career sessions, you'll be able to find lots of extra resources to help with this topic there. Okay, and here are our contact details. At the moment, the current moment of me delivering this presentation, we're obviously in the middle of a global pandemic, and our appointments are being offered over the telephone or remotely over Microsoft Teams, at least for part of the kind of first semester until we start to kind of move back onto campus gradually. But yeah, if you have a look in Career Edge, or you give us a call or an email on our contact details there, whenever you need an appointment with us, we'll be able to tell you where we're up to at that point. So thank you very much for listening.